It is no surprise that Henry Haley Schriver has been devoted to cooperatives for his entire life. After all, he was born and raised on a fruit farm in Ohio, and the family has ties back to the Rochdale pioneers. One can easily argue that cooperation is in his blood. As a young boy in the 1920s, Henry attended school in a one-room schoolhouse, worked on his family's farm, and loved to play the drums. He was a leader even then, helping to found the local 4-H dairy club at the age of 14 and working to organize the Belden Grange chapter. After high school, Henry attended Ohio State University to study agriculture. Again, he demonstrated leadership within such groups as the 4-H Club, the University Grange, the Marching Band, and the Wesley Foundation. He was graduated from OSU in 1937 with a degree in agriculture, and a year later married his college sweetheart, Dorothy Ellen Langshaw. The two settled on a dairy and orchard farm in Grafton, Ohio, and began to raise their most important crop, their family. The two raised 11 biological children, and in 1964 added a 12th child to their family, a Japanese boy named Hiro, who came to visit, stayed, and became one of the family. According to Dot,
11 and our Japanese boy makes 12. It's cheaper by the dozen.
Right from the outset, Henry was a pioneer in farm record-keeping. He meticulously tracked expenses and income, referring to his records as our roadmap to profit. In fact, his books were often used by the State Extension Service as a barometer of the dairy economy. Henry cared about the environment as well. In the 1940s, he helped organize the Lorraine Soil and Water Conservation District and served on its Board of Supervisors for 3 terms. He even utilized his own farm as a demonstration site for soil conservation practices and conducted farm day tours for 30 years to show off innovative practices. Those that knew Henry recognized his unique abilities to relate to those around him and his refreshing philosophy on life. It was clear that he had a message that was worth hearing. So in 1961, Henry reluctantly agreed to speak at the Cleveland Farmers Club for June Dairy Month. This speech turned out to be the birth of his famous Cows, Kids, and Co-op speech, which he presented for the first time at the American Institute of Cooperation in 1962. After this speech, both Henry and the AIC were deluged with requests for his presentation. Due to this tremendous response, Henry allowed the AIC to make an educational film of his talk free of charge. He hoped that the film would help tell the cooperative story to more people. Little did he know the reach it would have. Not only was it used extensively throughout the United States, but the U.S. State Department used it as an educational program throughout the world. Henry soon became known as the co-op farmer philosopher throughout the country. According to Henry, his philosophy about cooperation is quite simple, really.
This, then, is my central thought and theme, that people working together can and do accomplish things about which they, as individuals, only dare to dream.
But it wasn't just Henry's message that was so compelling. It was also his unique speaking style and complete lack of pretense. He wasn't a slick or a necessarily well-trained speaker. Basically, he was a farmer and a family man who spoke from his heart. That was clear to his audiences, and it made them listen even more. The fact that he also did most of his speaking in rhyme was another reason he wowed his crowds.
I have a 4-stall parlor where I milk those cows of mine, and it's up to you a point of view whether I think or dream or plan or scheme, but such thoughts come in rhyme.
Who would have dreamt that by 2004, Henry would have made over 3,000 speeches in 47 U.S. states and internationally, not to mention the untold number of workshops he held at various organizations. He has motivated and mentored countless farmers, sharing his view on co-ops.
I believe in cooperatives for another reason that I'd like to emphasize. Because if you work for dollars, that's well and good. But young people, you miss the point of it if you don't do it out of a sense of brotherhood. And it is my personal view that co-ops are not for you If you're one of these people that feel that you personally have got to make just a little better deal, but if while you're making a bit of a stake, your neighbor can make one too, this old world will be much better. And that's the co-op point of view.
Most impressively, he volunteered as a speaker for 37 consecutive years at the National Institute of Cooperative Education, effectively over time giving 3/4 of a whole year to this conference. This incredible show of volunteerism didn't slow as the years went by either. At the age of 80, Henry traveled to Russia as an ACDI VOCA volunteer to work with local farmers and give them ideas on improving their farming operations and to share ideas on cooperatives. Throughout his life, Henry Schriver generously shared his time and talent to advance cooperation and to spread his belief in the power of people working together. His message has inspired generations of producers, from young people who were first learning about cooperatives to those who he encouraged to persevere during tough times. There is no doubt that he has left a lasting legacy on the cooperative system. Tonight we honor him for all that he has done with induction into the Cooperative Hall of Fame.